Welcome to episode 62 of the 2 Minute Warning. Today we're going to be looking at who are our picks for the worst quarterback in the National Football League. Jay, who you got?
For me, it's definitely Daniel Jones. There's no question about it. I don't know why he was drafted so high. I don't know what the Giants saw in that pick. I would just trade it away if you didn't have a great prospect. My opinion is Daniel Jones, and there's really no argument to me that could change my mind.
Yeah, I'm going to, it's tough. I could argue, I feel like I'm leaning more towards Daniel Jones, but I feel like there are other quarterbacks in the mix that are closer to Daniel Jones, like, in how bad they are than you think. I mean, you look at guys like Nick Foles, who has not been playing well this year. You look at guys like, even Carson Wentz has played, like, pretty ass.
Good description.
There's other guys, Nick Mullins, backup for the Niners. Even Cam Newton has not been playing his best football, but I think right now Daniel Jones is above. It's still crazy to believe, like, he's won 4 games all against the Redskins, and he's, like, 1-16 against every other team in the NFL, which is just crazy to me. But, yeah, I'm gonna lean Daniel Jones.
I'll say Daniel Jones. You mentioned Cam Newton, and he had a pretty promising first 2 games before he had COVID, and I thought there was a chance that we see the old Cam Newton back. I was pretty upset that he turned out to be terrible. 2 touchdowns on the season, passing, that's pretty bad. But I think I agree with Daniel Jones. You can make a case for Carson Wentz, and I'm just not going to mention the Cowboys and the Redskins. You don't know what's going on there, but Garrett Gilbert showed some promise last night.
He did show some promise. What about you, Carson?
Yeah, when I look at Daniel Jones, I see a guy that's only second year in the league. Maybe he started 20 games total. I think right about 20 games he's played, or he started in his career. So what I see actually when I look at Daniel Jones is a guy that's super young, super undeveloped, with maybe some talent there, but that's just not really been tapped into yet. He throws the ball. He'll have some throws that look almost like he's a veteran just for a moment. And then, of course, for the most part, he's not very good. But he's not going to be my pick for the worst in the league. I think when I look at worst in the league, I look at some guys that I just, at this moment, would not want as my franchise quarterback. And I think between those two, like Wade said, excluding the Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert situation in Dallas and the Dwayne Haskins and Alex Smith situation in Washington, and so excluding those two franchises with a bunch of starting quarterbacks, same as 49ers. So those 3 teams obviously don't have good positions at quarterbacks, but not really considering those because we haven't seen a consistent starter. So right now, my 2 quarterbacks that I see as the worst in the league right now are going to be between Cam Newton and Carson Wentz. When you look at Carson Wentz, 12-12 on the season between passing and interceptions, QBR just over 50, not good.
It's tough.
But Cam Newton, on the other hand, 2 passing touchdowns to 7 interceptions with a 44.5 QBR. So ultimately, my pick's going to have to be Cam Newton. Obviously, early in his career, still I consider him to be a talented quarterback. But just right now, the way he's playing and the way he's looking in this new offense for him, I think he might be my pick for the worst quarterback in the league at the moment.
The Patriots play a pretty heavy passing offense, and he's just not built for that. He's more of a rusher.
Maybe
almost a knockoff version of Lamar Jackson.
Maybe it has to do with Belichick never being, I shouldn't say never, for the last 20 years of Brady being in a pass-heavy offense. Now he's got a quarterback that's mobile, so that doesn't work really well right now. So I'm not going to say it's completely Cam Newton's fault. Like I said, it's obvious he was very talented earlier in his career. He's getting a little older. He's not old yet, but he's obviously aging. And, I think just at this moment, he might be the worst quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, and in my opinion, of those 3 quarterbacks, Carson Wentz, Cam Newton, and Daniel Jones, the only way to, kind of give them a little bit of credit, I wouldn't say any of those guys really have great receivers. If any of them, I'd probably say the Giants, Daniel Jones, with Wayne Gallman, which one is it? Running back, Deion Lewis out of the backfield also.
Evan Ingram.
And Devontae Freeman and Saquon Barkley. Great backfield. And then to pass to Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Darius Slayton Jr., and Evan Ingram. That's a pretty solid receiving core. That's probably top 20 in the league, in my opinion, at least. And really, outside of those 3 quarterbacks, I think if it wasn't for Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Baker Mayfield, and Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield would be in this list of those 3 quarterbacks. And I really think those receiving core around him was just carrying Baker Mayfield. And even now, no one sees him as a stellar quarterback. But if it wasn't for that potent offense around him, I definitely think he'd be in this talk for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I just feel like you look at guys like Sam Darnold. I just feel like he suffers
the Adam
worse.
Gase thing. So
He just
Yeah.
suffers worse from how bad his team is, like relative, like in not as badly as like Daniel Jones does. Because
Right.
Daniel Jones, you named it, he's got guys like Shepard, Ingram.
He's got solid.
He's got
guys around him.
some solid guys. It's just like I look at Daniel Jones and I just like don't see a quarterback that I would want on my team. Like I feel like
I agree.
every time he plays, he's just like trying to prove that he's not ass. Like he's not trying to like wow you. Like his just decision making is suspect. Same with Wentz too.
Yeah, Carson Wentz just, like I said, from Daniel Jones, obviously overall not a great quarterback at the moment, but you just see some flashes of just great plays, some talent. He's mobile, he's fast. We saw him break away like a 22-mile-per-hour run, but he evidently fell down.
I
on his
feel like
own.
he's got
But Carson Wentz, that it's hard to choose between him and Cam Newton at the moment. Carson Wentz, surprisingly, is leading his division, so I guess I can't choose him because he's doing something right. But he's also just questionable decisions, questionable throws, inconsistency. All of those three make a recipe for a weak quarterback. So that's Cam Newton and Carson Wentz currently have both of those qualities.
With Daniel Jones, I want to mention, like, I haven't watched him very much this season, but I did watch him against the Bucks, where it looked like they had a chance to win, and he had one throw towards the back of the end zone that looked like you mentioned a stellar throw.
He led the Giants down the field to try to tie the game.
Some of the throws I saw, he had easy slant routes that were wide open that would throw 5 feet in front or behind of the receiver. It's just, I don't see much, but you can say that about a couple different quarterbacks in the league, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think the reason I wouldn't throw Carson Wentz below Daniel Jones, even though like Carson Wentz has been playing horrifically, is that like I just don't think he's been playing bad enough to like take away from his success in the past. You know what I mean? So like I don't know if I can throw him.
What are the Giants? A 2-win team now?
2-7.
They just beat
they're
Redskins twice.
Like you
They beat
said,
Redskins twice.
The Eagles are still winning.
Eagles have one win more than that, but just relative to their division is the last place and the first place. So of course Carson Wentz looks better, and he is better than Daniel Jones overall. But I guess his career has proven he's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Eagles made the Super Bowl. He's made playoffs, but I still think that the future maybe holds more for Daniel Jones, which is why I wouldn't put him below Carson Wentz. Hard to tell. But yeah, I think again Wentz and Newton are my kind of tie for the worst quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I actually think pretty highly of Carson Wentz. I'd actually take him over probably at least 5 or 6 quarterbacks. But a big thing about Daniel Jones is just he looks scared in the pocket and playing football. He just doesn't look comfortable.
Well, like Greg said, it's almost like he's just trying to prove, hey, I'm not bad. Like everyone says I am.
I feel like he's just getting babied along by this coaching
He's
staff.
almost like, in my opinion, Jared Goff. He just, not to say he's as, I don't think Jared Goff is as bad as Daniel Jones, but they both kind of just don't have confidence. They just lack it, and they don't look comfortable in the pocket, just passing the ball, stepping up, throwing deep. They just don't seem, they just get pressured really easily, in my opinion, and I just don't think Daniel Jones is going to last in the NFL very long at this rate. And maybe we could be wrong. I mean, it's not like the Giants have had a good quarterback since Eli Manning.
Yeah.
And those 2 Super Bowl runs. Outside of that, the Giants aren't a great organization, just like the Jets and Bengals and Washington, to help their quarterbacks out. So we can't entirely blame him in his situation. To be the worst quarterback in the league, he's still 32nd best quarterback in football right now on the entire world. So we can't knock him too much. But just right now, at this rate, he's not going to last very long.
Yeah.
I agree.
You have to wonder if, like, I'll just say this last thing, but you have to wonder, like, if the Giants, like, go down low enough in draft spot, like, would they think
I
about
think
getting
100%.
Trevor Lawrence?
I think
If they
that
somehow ended
if
up
they
on
ended
one-
up that low somehow,
Especially if Trevor didn't want to go to the Jets. You know what I mean? Or something like that, but you never know. So,
if I were him, I wouldn't want to go to the Jets, but we'll see.
All right.
All right,
Alright,
2-1.